does look funny.
What a terrific Tuesday. So for all of you that are on the live stream and listening on Facebook, this is a test. This is really a test. Ruth Ellen, how's it sounding?
It sounds good. There's lots of sound.
Sound is good.
Perfect. So let's go ahead and open the doors and open everybody that's waiting in the waiting room. I love seeing so many people just waiting patiently. So I hope you enjoyed the little music, the little graphics that were there in the waiting room today. If you are on live stream, come and join us. Come and join us here on the live Daily with Doc. So you can join us through Zoom, dailywithdoczoom.com. And we are live Monday through Friday from 12 to 1 Pacific time, 1 to 2 Mountain time, 2 to 3 Central time, and 3 to 4 Eastern time. If you're in Atlantic, that is 4 to 5. If you are in South America, we're looking at 11 to midnight. So for all of you diehards all around the world, and I think the UK, Doc, I think the UK, it's like 7 or 8 o'clock at night. So I know we have people that join us from all around the world, and we just welcome you to Daily with Doc. My name is Becca Dukes, and I am excited to be the hostess of this program each and every day with the one and only doctor who was able to figure me out. And, you know, I was making it so difficult. There was so many different things going on in my life. And I'm like, okay, there's got to be something I'm missing. So I was adding this and adding that, and nothing was working until I heard this doctor that we have with us on Daily with Doc on the radio. And I'm like, okay, he says, give me 90 days. I've been suffering for over 35 years. 90 days. Let's give it a shot. I had tried everything else. And I did. And guess what, Dr. Wallach? You're a genius. So folks, I enjoy doing this program, and I welcome you to feel the difference yourself. And with that, we have the one and only Dr. Joel Wallach. Now, Dr. Wallach has a Bachelor of Science in Agriculture. He's a doctor of veterinary medicine. He also holds 3 postdoctorates in pathology. I couldn't do that job, Doc. I really couldn't. And he has taught at naturopathic colleges nutrition. And instead of just teaching, he decided to become one. So he also has a doctorate in naturopathic medicine. And I am so excited and honored to be able to share him with you, because what he has put together is the only thing that gave me my life back. And I am so appreciative, which is why I do this program with you, Dr. Wallach. So welcome to Daily with Doc.
Well, thank you so much for the kind introduction and that bit of history. That's all helpful, especially for today's program. We're going to give a little bit more history, and we're, I think, going all over the world now with this Zoom thing. This is all over the place.
Dr. Wallach, I need you to do something for me. Could you take the camera and just tilt it up a little bit?
Forward or backwards?
Tilt it up to the sky. That's the wrong way. There we go. A little bit more. A little bit more.
That's as far as it'll go. It won't go anymore.
Oh, well.
It's locked at that position. It will not go anymore.
So my wonderful co-host, Ruth Ellen Sanchez, is going to be coming on with me right now. And while I have to run next door to the big house, I'm going to fix the camera. Oh, wait, did you just fix the camera?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, fantastic. Then we're just going to continue the show. Thank you, Ruth Ellen. All you had to do is show your beautiful face. Well, we do have fun. We are part of a community. And today, Dr. Wallach wanted to talk about this community that we have created within Youngevity, but it's not Youngevity. It's separate from Youngevity, Dr. Wallach.
Well, it's a asset of Youngevity. It's the original goal of Youngevity was to create an army of people who had the same goal, was to help people. And obviously, no matter how much education you have, you can't do it all by yourself. I mean, think about it. Why did God use all these angels and prophets? Because even God couldn't be everywhere at the same time. And so he created this army. So I said, well, if that's the way God does it, I'm going to follow his example. Okay. And I'm going to create an army. And so that was what was going on to get going here. And I'm lecturing literally all over the world. And I was lecturing up in Washington State. And I go into this restaurant. Let's see here, Taco Bell. Is that correct?
Taco Bell.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
go into this restaurant, Taco Bell, and sit down and order my order. And this waitress, who turns out to be Sheryl Morley, comes up and she takes the order and cooks and all that kind of stuff and brings the food. And she was so cheerful and dynamic person. And I was telling her, we're looking for people who are interested in, helping other people and making some extra money. And you don't have to quit your job. You can keep doing what you're doing. You're so good at it. But join us. We're having a meeting in town here that night. And here's, an invitation, because we were printed out. We're putting out notes for people to come to the meeting. Says, why don't you come? And so she shows up at the meeting. Okay. Her name is Sheryl Morley. And I was looking for some help because my attorney, Jonathan Emord, I had him working 80 hours a day. This was like crazy. So many projects going on. We were suing the FDA to get the nutrients in the kids' drinks. Okay, they're Infamil, Similac. Yeah, and all that kind of stuff. We did 8 lawsuits just on one subject. And he says, okay, Wallach, he says, I need some help here. I'm just up to my eyeballs. I can't do it all myself. I said, I think I have somebody who just might, very bright, very energetic, might be just the right person. So I introduced Sheryl Morley to Jonathan Emord, and he hired her. Okay, he hired her to help him with all his paperwork and phone calls and following up and this, that, and the other. And 6 months later, they get married. Well, was that cool?
It wasn't that quick, Dr.
Well,
Wallach.
okay,
really
maybe
don't.
I think it was pretty fast. Okay.
She was
but
one of your very first distributors.
Oh.
She used to travel with you, and I know you remember this. She used to travel with you and help set up the meetings that you were doing. She left Taco Bell, and she was all in.
Yeah, and so and then she married my top attorney, which I thought was the greatest thing in the world. 2 top people. What a team they created. And she started teaching other people to do what she was doing, because we were expanding all over the place. And 2 people, 5 people, 100 people, 1,000 people couldn't do it. We needed 1 million people. And so she put this together. And it's one of those things where she was doing a lot of the follow-up for Jonathan Emord and so forth. And she began to understand what needed to be done to encourage people who had needs, who had brains, who had energy to get involved. And she said, we need to give them a certificate. Okay, we need to give them a certificate. And she started the school, right, which is
the Institute of Holistic Health. So she and one of her business partners, Paul Croto, had this great idea. And it was March of 2020 that they'd been thinking about it. We'd been talking about it. And there's we're going to do it. Everybody's stuck at home. Let's give them something to do, Dr. Wallach. I'm glad they did.
And I'm glad they did. And of course, they created a certificate, which she'd been talking about for these people who go through the process. What is it, 3 months if they do everything on schedule?
Depends on, it's self-paced. So depending on how much time that you have in order to dedicate to this, I've had some people that once they get started, they just can't stop and they're done in 36 hours.
Wow.
Pretty
And they get a health
crazy.
certificate. They get a health coach certificate, correct?
You get a certified holistic health coach certificate. Yes, you become a certified holistic health coach. And so, Dr. Wallach, we teach all about what you yourself found through your research. Mineral deficiencies, dis-ease. And then we take the products that you were very instrumental in formulating and use them as a solution. But it's more than just this for that, because we look at the whole body just like you do, and it has a health evaluation system. It asks the questions, many of them that you ask yourself whenever somebody's doing a sit-down consultation. And then we teach them how to take that health evaluation, help people get what they need to benefit them in a positive manner. And then we also teach them how to build a business and a second income stream on it, Dr. Wallach. It's like a win-win. You're helping yourself along the way. And I'm so glad that I did not wait until I hit that stage of perfection before I started helping people. It's progress over perfection, folks. As you're making progress and helping other people make progress also, it's an incredible, incredible feeling. I love it. And yeah, so make a little extra money, make a lot of extra money. It's totally up to you and how you want to take the business, if you want to take it as a business or just help people find a better health journey. And it's all started because of you.
Well, I knew I had to build an army, and you're a 5-star general, and Cheryl's a 5-star general. A lot of her associates and helpers, including Paul, are 5-star generals in the army. And so this is how we're getting things done, because we have an army. This is a peaceful army. This is not a shooting army. This is a peaceful army. This is an army taking truth. And again, it's sort of in the pattern of the good Lord, where he came up with all these angels and prophets and so forth to carry his message around the world. And so we use the same system. And by golly, God's pretty clever. He came up with a very useful system, and it works. And so we're so very proud of that. And how many graduates are there now from the Institute of Health?
We have 887 that have graduated so far to date. And we're actually having our next graduation March 25th, with the cutoff being March 19th, I think, is what I have this cutoff set at. Yeah. So, I mean, you've got 12 days, folks. If you wanted to become a certified holistic health coach and you have about 30 hours between now and then, 12 days, 30 hours, what's that? 3 hours a day with a couple days off, you could become a certified holistic health coach. Also, learning about how the body responds with and without the things that it needs. And then when things are missing, we also teach the solutions that we have found to be the best, paramount, Dr. Wallach, because it is an investment into our own health.
Yeah, and it's something you can pass on to your family. This is not something that dies when you die. This is something you're building, and so you need to get your family involved, and so they know how it runs. And so, because as you get bigger, when you start dealing with, how many people do you deal with per month, Rebecca?
Oh my goodness.
25, 50, 100, 500?
Oh, I'm in contact with hundreds of people a month, and that doesn't include the people that are on Zooms with us. So yeah. I have group meetings, and we do a lot of group stuff. I do a lot of individual stuff. I do a lot of 2- and 3-way calls.
And so if people have computer skills and communication skills, they can actually do very well, which I say physiologically, because when you feel good because you're helping other people, you're going to live longer and be healthier. Okay. And then also, when you're doing well and helping other people, the company, not these people you're working with, they don't pay you. I pay you for doing all that. Okay. And so it's one of those things where, and of course, everybody gets their products at wholesale. And if they get an auto ship, I pay the shipping. And we encourage people, the books, if they buy 10 of any title of any of our books in the bookstore, and that leverages their time by getting those books and CDs and DVDs and all the tools out there, that leverages their time. So I don't have to spend 24 hours a day with each person. Okay, you leverage your time with the tools. And of course, the newest one is the Wallach Revolution. It's a 75-year trek, okay, through 600 different diseases and some of the big stories. And we have so many famous people in there who have written things that are in this book, okay? And we're talking about people like Pat Boone, Danny Glover, Theo Ratliff, Evander Holyfield, Andy Young, and so many more. It's like crazy how many people of fame have gone through this process and gotten rid of diseases the doctors said were genetic, told them there was nothing they can do, but they can take medication to relieve the symptoms, but it would get worse over time. We've gotten rid of those diseases in these famous people, and they're telling the stories in here, okay? And so I just, hope as many people as can get a hold. If you buy 10 of them, just like all the other books, even though it's brand new, if you buy 10, you get a nice discount. And so you can make a few bucks by selling them at the regular price, one by one. And if you're part of the health coach system, you want to introduce these tools to them, okay? And again, you can sell it to them. You can create your own little bookstore. And I think, you do that very well. You can tell them about that, Becca. How do you start your own bookstore?
Well, you can buy them in bulk, Dr. Wallach, but something that I'm really excited about that's coming out as well is going to be the affiliate program that is through drjwallach.com. And that's just going to be an additional income stream that people can use as they're sharing the message, as they're sharing better health. They're also sharing the resources that share the research, Dr. Wallach, that you have done, that Dr. Milan has done, that so many people, including well documented on your search to find the cause and cure of muscular dystrophy. Marvin Robb. You have incorporated so many people, Dr. Wallach, in this mission.
He's a former Navy SEAL, SEAL. And he really did, a great job in working with us. He's fearless being a Navy SEAL. And we'd go around the country where there's large populations of kids with muscular dystrophy, and we would set up a system there. And as the evidence was so great, we're curing these kids. We're not relieving symptoms, we're curing them. And we gave Jerry Lewis the information, and he took it to he was going to, put on his regular annual meeting in Zoom for the Muscular Dystrophy Association. I think it was in September 4th, 2011. Yeah, 2011. Yeah. And we had all these states where we had so many kids, particularly Idaho and Utah and Arizona and California. We had so many kids that we had cured their muscular dystrophy. I'm looking in the face saying cured, okay? And so Jerry Lewis went around with me, and we talked to the doctors, we talked to the families, we talked to the kids, and by biopsy, they didn't have muscular dystrophy anymore. And he was so excited. On September 4th, 2011, he took it to the Muscular Dystrophy Association, to the location of their Zoom, not their Zoom, their
telethon.
Their telethon, thank you, their telethon that weekend. And they summarily fired him because Wallach was saying it wasn't a genetic disease, just simple nutritional deficiency disease. they summarily fired Jerry Lewis, put a gag order on him so he couldn't say anything, and shut down the telethon, which was going to be on the 5th, the next day. And it had been running for 46 years without stop. He had raised $2.5 billion for them, 2.5 billion with a B for them through the telethon. And they shut it down and fired him summarily because they didn't want to hear that the cure had been found. Well, I'm just glad because he died a couple of years later. So I'm glad that he knew. I'm glad that he knew before he died that his goal had been achieved, that we had found the cause, prevention, and cure for muscular dystrophy, and he was overjoyed.
Yeah, it's a very sad story, dear Dr. Wallach. But you know, it doesn't have to end there. And that's what we're doing in this army, this crusade that we have
Jerry
created.
Lewis, we're carrying on his crusade.
So I am very thankful for that. And it doesn't stop at muscular dystrophy. I mean, that's just one of the things that they have noted
genetic birth defects. There are no genetic birth defects. Okay.
I was just going to say that's one of the things that they had noted as being a birth defect that there was no way out of, and you have proven that that is incorrect.
That's correct, and that's where Jonathan E. Mord and I sued the FDA in federal court 8 times just on that one subject. We got the nutrients put in the infant formulas, infant milk, Similac, and the like, and of course, epigenetics is a new science we created to replace the false science of genetically transmitted diseases, the death of the genetic transmission of diseases, okay? And it's one of those things where not often do you get to replace an entire incorrect belief, okay? This science, epigenetics, has replaced an entire relief. And of course, the first thing that came about, which went out to the general public, okay, was Hell's Kitchen. There you go, Hell's Kitchen. And Hell's Kitchen is at the transition between coal and wood for fuel, which we had been using for thousands and thousands and thousands of years, literally over 3,000 years, okay, because the Old Testament was 3,500 years ago. The New Testament was 2,000 years ago. Well, guess what? There's another testament coming out here this year. It's going to be called the Third Testament. I'm breathless because of all of God's miracles that he has done over the last 2,000 years. It's time for him to be, what they say, recognized again for all these wonderful things that he has created to eliminate all kinds of problems, health problems, financial problems, family problems, cultural problems, financial problems. We're giving God all the credit. And this book goes from thousands and thousands and thousands of years of using wood and coal as fuel to at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, Monday, September 4th, 1882, Thomas Edison pulled the switch and went to electricity. Now, you know the answer to this one, but it's a tough question, Becca, okay? How many mineral nutrients are in electricity?
Zero.
Zero.
I was hoping it was going to be an easy question, Dr. Wallach. Thank you.
And then, of course, 1936, the U.S. Senate recognized that there was a problem. By 1936, it was a huge problem. They recognized it and said, in U.S. Senate document 264, 1936, it's the U.S. Senate document 264, there's no longer sufficient amounts of nutritional minerals in our farm soils to support long and healthy life for human beings. Duh, okay? And so this is something that even the Senate knew, and these are politicians. Most of them are not doctors and scientists, and they're politicians. They're getting all this feedback from universities and professors and stuff where we have a problem here. And they double checked it and they sent their teams out and double checked it and double checked it. And sure enough, we had identified the problem. And the only way out of it is to supplement. And so that's why we created the Youngevity program. And originally it was American Longevity. We started as American Longevity. I was in the military and, we were so patriotic, it was American Longevity. But we couldn't get into other countries because they didn't want to hear a business, American Longevity, coming into their country. So we changed it to Youngevity just so we could get into all these other countries around the world. And but it was still in our hearts, it's American longevity. And so we're very, very proud of that. And immediately we were able to get rid of obesity, because obesity was caused by nutritional deficiencies of minerals, creating pica, a behavior where people would eat and eat and eat. They eat 15 meals a day because they're not stupid. They were just driven that way because the body's saying, gimme, 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 you're missing stuff, gimme, gimme, gimme. And people would eat and eat and eat and eat. And that's why the obesity became a big deal, you know, in the 20s and 30s and 40s and 50s and 60s. And that's why now obesity, we know the cause, prevention, and cure of it. And if people will just get rid of all their bad foods and take the 90 essential nutrients, guess what? Obesity goes away. And you have a personal testimony.
I do have a personal testimony, Dr. Wallach, on that. And one of these days I'm going to share the whole thing. But today we have several hands up. We have lots of questions that have come in from our website, dailywithdoc.com. And folks, if you are on with us, you are welcome to check out all of our replays from the programs that have been recorded here on Daily with Doc, our previous programs, Ask Doc Daily and Ask Doc Live, plus the Q&A with pharmacist Ben Fuchs. All of those recordings and more can be found on dailywithdoc.com. Now, we put this website together as a resource for the community. So if somebody has shared this program or the website with you with a specific video, make sure that you get back with them and thank them, because they took the time to share it with you. They cared enough and want to make sure that you are getting the information that you need to help you also find a better health journey where you're not just surviving, but you are actually thriving. And Dr. Wallach, I didn't even feel like I was surviving. And that was just 7 years ago. So it's been an incredible ride. And now I feel fabulous. And we have some other people that are wanting to do the same.
Okay.
So let's go to the first question that is up. And I must read. I hate having to read this, Dr. Wallach, but the FDA requires us to. That the content of this program is not meant to treat, diagnose, or cure any diseases. It is not meant to take the place of your primary care physician, and it is for nutritional education only.
I wonder who wrote that.
An FDA lawyer. But Dr. Wallach, you've sued them many times. You have 8 or 9 victories. And now we can carry on and help people. So Nancy, go ahead and unmute yourself. I'm going to go ahead and bring you on as a spotlight, and welcome to Daily with Doc. Uh-oh.
Hi.
Can you unmute? There you go.
Yeah. Thank you very much. I've been listening to some of your programs, and I've been very impressed, and I do believe that nutrition is the answer. So I'm not on board, not off board at all. I'm on board. But I want to ask you a question about gluten, because so many people are thinking that it doesn't affect them. And you say it affects everybody. And I would like to know, other than the villi, what does it do to your body that is so harmful that they should really get off of it?
Okay, well, gluten destroys the villi in the small intestine.
Right.
And when you destroy the villi, you lose 98% of your absorptive surface. So even if you're supplementing, you're only going to get 2% of what you take in, and that's not enough. Okay. And so when you look at people around the world who are gluten eaters, let's just look at that. That begs the question. Okay. In China, there's 2 communities. There's the Northern Chinese and the Southern Chinese. The Southern Chinese, they live 5 years longer than the Northern Chinese. Same people, same race, same backgrounds, but in the North, they eat wheat, and in the South, they eat rice. So the ones eating wheat live 5 years shorter lifespans than the ones who are eating rice. Okay, when you look at the Japanese are the longest lived of the peoples on Earth, longest life expectations in the what should I say, the industrialized communities. Okay, the Hunzas up in the Himalayan mountains are the longest life expectancy in the world at 120. The Japanese are 84.7. Well, the Hunzas at 120 is because they live in these valleys that are getting showered with volcanic ash almost every day, and they plow that volcanic ash, in which are minerals, into the soil. And being where they are, they don't eat wheat. Okay, they're eating potatoes and things like that, and so they're not getting the gluten. Okay, and they make wine, which has no gluten in it, but beer, you make beer out of wheat that has gluten in it. Okay, so you got to watch that. And so if you want to drink beer, you have to drink beer from China, beer from Japan, beer from Australia. They were very clever, the Australians. They began to actually make beer out of rice. So people had their choice. You get the wheat beer or the rice beer. Okay. And so you have the problem of absorption. No matter what you take in your mouth, if you're eating gluten from any source, wheat, butter, or oats, and then of course buckwheat is gluten-free, but buckwheat has gliadin, not gliadin, excuse me. Buckwheat has phagopyrenes in it, phagopyrenes. And this is what specifically causes lupus, is eating buckwheat, because all the things that are necessary for the intestines, the brain, the skin, all of which are affected when you have the problem of lupus. You get off of buckwheat, you start eating rice, you take the 90 essential nutrients, and lupus goes away in weeks. It's not an autoimmune disease. Your body's not attacking itself. It's just a nutritional deficiency. But doctors didn't know. They didn't know. They don't know much when it comes to those sorts of things. And that's why the book came out, The Wallach Revolution, because we showed, okay, and then of course Hell's Kitchen came out before that to show the transition from and these are big things. When you transition from wood and coal as fuel for 3,000 years to electricity and all the wood ashes, you're old enough, probably remember wood ashes and wood stoves and that kind of stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we had, let's see, bone broth. You put bones and vinegar on the wood stove at night and you drink it in the morning, right? Well, that's why we came out with our collagen peptides, because bone broth is messy and smelly and all that kind of stuff. And, modern housewives didn't want to mess with it. And so we came out with the collagen peptides and the MSM to replace bone broth. But they had bone broth for over 3,000 years. Okay.
I see.
And so there's 37 different diseases you can get when you have osteoporosis of the skull. Doctors don't know anything about this. You ask your doctor if has he ever treated a patient with osteoporosis of the skull, and they'll laugh at you and say there's no such thing as osteoporosis of the skull. Because when you get osteoporosis in the knees, they want to give you a double knee replacement. You have osteoporosis of your hips, they want to give you a double hip replacement. How are they going to treat you with osteoporosis of the skull? They're going to give you a double head replacement?
I see. Is there one other question I could ask while you're on?
Sure.
My niece, she gets these red patches all over her face and neck and skin. And she works as a real stressful job. She works taking calls for people that need help, and everything. And so it's real stressful, and it's also shift work. And what I'd like to know, what can we tell her to do? The only thing she has that they give her this inhaler that she got for a cough. She's had COVID twice. And they give her an inhaler and they give her a pill daily. And that finally got rid of that cough, but not all the time. She still has to inhale. Is there anything you can do for those red patches and this breathing problem and all that?
Okay, well, they're symptoms of a deeper problem. Okay, and everybody wants to know, well, what nutrient is it? Is it just, do I take more calcium? No, that's not the answer. Okay, right. The answer is deeper than that. So we have to know what's going on here. All right. So first thing she needs to do is get my book, Dr. Wallach's Cooking Without the Bad Foods. 300 pages of safe recipes and safe cooking methods Okay, very important, because if you're eating gluten and buckwheat with phagopyrines and all kind of stuff, you might as well just go shoot yourself, because you're not going to make any progress. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, and so then you want to replace the gluten things, wheat, brown, and oats. Well, my doctor says eat more whole grains. Well, your doctor is making some bad information available to you.
Right.
Okay, you don't want to be eating whole grains. You want to see, our average life expectancy in America is 75 to 73, depending on whose numbers you're looking at. Japan is 9 years longer than us. Canada is 9 years longer than us. Okay, China is longer than us. UK is 5 years longer than us. The only a couple of them that are shorter than us, and one is Russia at 72. That's because everything they eat is wheat.
I see. Well, thank you so much. I know you have other people to get to, but I really appreciate all the information that
But
you're
yeah,
trying to help us with.
talk to one of these health coaches. You know, give Rebecca a call.
I am talking to one, and I am going to start the program. Thank
Okay,
you
good.
very much. Mhm.
Okay, bye-bye.
All right, fantastic, fantastic, Nancy. That is a great question. Thank you so much for coming on and asking it, because I get that question a lot. And now I have a resource that I can share with other people just from your question that is going to help a lot of people. So
Thank you.
thank you, Nancy.
Thank you.
Next, let's go to a question that I think is in the chat that our co-host Ruth Ellen is going to be asking for us, or she might even be bringing a question in from Facebook or Rumble or anywhere else. Ruth Ellen, unmute, please.
Hello. Guess there are no questions so far on Facebook. So there is a question in the chat from Mark. If he would like to come on, I'm going to ask him to unmute. I'm going to read his question just in case he doesn't. So he says, my grandson is 21 years old, 6 feet tall, 140 pounds. A few weeks ago, he was diagnosed with schizophrenia. I read in your book, Let's Play Doctor, that chromium and vanadium can help. My question is, what other minerals or supplements can he take to strengthen his brain cells?
Okay, very good. And you say he weighs 140 pounds?
Yes, sir.
Okay, he needs to get a hold of the book. Dr. Wallach's Cooking Without the Bad Foods, 300 pages of safe recipes, safe cooking methods, right? Then he needs 2 healthy brain and heart packs per month. 2 healthy brain and heart packs per month. No bad foods, no fried foods, no processed meats, no oils, no glutens, no wheat, brown, rye, oats, no buckwheat, no sugar, no carbonated drinks, even, and no alkaline water, no carbonated water. That's all got to go. He needs 2 healthy brain and heart packs a month, a full dose, I think, twice a day. I want him to have, let's see here. He needs the collagen peptides, 3 of the, a scoop of that with his morning drink, 2 with his evening drink. He needs 2 bottles a month of the MSM, so he can take 3 at breakfast, 3 at lunch, 3 at dinner time. That's going to support maintenance repair of his skull in case he's got some osteoporosis of the skull going on there, which is always possible. And then he needs let's see here, Synaptive. He can take 3 of those twice a day. That's 2 bottles a month. That's going to help his brain cells talk to each other. I want him also to have our, let's see here, I-26, okay, which I want him to take either the powder or the chewables at noontime, a dose of that, okay? And then I want him to have 3 eggs twice a day with soft yolks. They can be soft scrambled, soft poached, soft boiled, soft poached, or soft boiled, soft scrambled in butter, okay? Not fried, not hard boiled. And let's see here, Memory FX he can take. And let's see here, Rebecca, what else would you suggest for this young fellow?
I think you covered it, Dr. Wallach. The only other thing that I would add would be, we have 2 drink mixes that are amazing when it comes to helping with brain activity, calming or uplifting, focus, clarity. And those are Soul, S-O-U-L, and also SMART. So S-M-A-R-T are hydrations, which Ruth Ellen and I enjoy all day long.
Okay, and
Yes.
then don't forget the rebound in case energy is an issue.
Yeah, and there's also Renew IQ, which
I'm
is
sorry?
really
Yes.
good for the brain.
Yeah.
Also, I want to mention that don't take the I-26 when you're eating eggs. You should take it several hours after or several
Yeah,
hours.
yeah, take it at noon. I take mine at noon, and then I have my eggs in the morning and eggs in the
Mhm.
evening.
Yeah, they just, there's certain things in the I-26 that you want to get, and it gets confused if you take it with eggs. Because,
I take my 3 eggs at breakfast and take my 3 eggs at dinner time, and I take my I-26 at noon. I go with the chewables, although there's powder, there's
Mm.
capsules, and there's also the
Mhm.
chewable. They're about the diameter of a quarter. They're flat like a quarter.
and there's even I-26 for your pets.
There you go.
Thank you so much for answering the question, Dr. Wallach.
It's a very common question, and that's why we came up with these programs, because of people, as the economy gets crazy and crazier, the availability of food, because people start, their income gets less, or they're paying more bills for something else, and so they don't get the supplements they need, they don't buy the food they need, and so this is why there's more and more of this kind of stuff happening.
Thank you. Back to you, Rebecca.
All right. Thank you, Ruth Ellen. So while we're talking about the brain, Dr. Wallach, Doria has a question, and she says, thank you, well, comment and question. Thank you for sharing your expertise and sharing. I have a client whose mom is bipolar and on lithium. She's talked to the doctor, and she wants to know if there might be anything counterproductive for the mom if she were to start taking the Youngevity products.
And what did the doctor say?
I'm looking at the doctor.
Oh. Oh, you have to appreciate lithium is a mineral, okay? And it has kind of a tranquilizing effect. Okay, that's what it does. And people learned that a long time ago. No mystery. But to be healthy, including the brain, you need more than just one mineral. Okay. It's kind of like, when you have arthritis and you have bone-to-bone arthritis, you take an aspirin, you don't feel the pain anymore, but you still have the arthritis. Okay, the arthritis is going to continue to get slowly worse and worse and worse and worse until finally an aspirin won't help you anymore. And the doctor's going to want to do a double knee replacement. And the doctor, by telling you to take some aspirin, it's like putting money in the bank. He's telling you to do this because he knows in 6 months or a year, 2 years later, you're going to need a double knee replacement in their system. And, he can put his kid through college by giving you quick relief because you'll be happy with him. And then when it gets worse, you'll go back to him and say, oh, maybe it's time we give you a double knee replacement. That's because tuition is due for his kid.
Okay, so as far as any type of pharmaceuticals, Dr. Wallach, if we want to make sure that people, let their doctors know what they're doing, but do keep in mind that the doctors have not been educated in nutrition.
That's correct.
So read the side effects, that little pamphlet or stapled sheets of paper that come with your pharmaceuticals. And if there's any type of contradiction on specific foods, then that would be something that you want to look at, because there are some pharmaceuticals that want you to avoid because the food itself actually does the job that the pharmaceutical is chemically trying to do. So really educate yourself on what that pamphlet says so that you can ask your doctor better questions as well. But we're using whole food, Dr. Wallach, in our products. So
Yeah,
that's
we have,
one thing.
when you look at our Health, Brain, and Heart Pack, it has what? 115 fruits and vegetables in it?
A lot. I haven't counted
115.
them.
Yeah, 115 fruits and vegetables.
Quite a few. Yeah. And you're getting your daily dose of fruits and vegetables.
You're getting your
the
90
nutrients, getting your 90 essential nutrients, which are the 60 minerals.
60 minerals,
12.
16 vitamins, 12 amino acids, 3 fatty acids.
There
I've
you
said
go.
that a few times.
You've said it a few times. Yes, you have. Well, let's go to, actually, we have another question, Dr. Wallach, that is brain related, and I'm going to ask Stephanie to come on. She submitted this to me a few days ago. Stephanie, go ahead and unmute yourself if you would. Thank you so much for jumping on with us.
Hello, Doc.
Hey.
I have an 89-year-old woman. She's 104 pounds. She's 4'9" and had been 5'2". And she's got severe arthritis, osteoporosis of her body, and of her skull also. And she's suffering from dementias that they say is possibly from small strokes.
Okay. All right. So very simple. She needs to get rid of all the bad foods. No fried foods, no processed meats, with nitrates in them, like bacon and ham and hot dogs and bologna and salami and pastrami and pepperoni, that kind of stuff. Then absolutely no oils, no salad dressing, no cooking oils. I like cream or yogurt for salad dressings. And then absolutely no whole grains, no wheat, butter, rye, or oats, because they have gluten in them. Even the oats, people say, well, I'm getting gluten-free oats. There are no such things. The gluten in oats is called gliadin, but it's still gluten. And then no buckwheat. There's no gluten in buckwheat, but buckwheat has phagopyrenes in there, F-A-G-O-pyrines, which are worse than gluten. And if you want lupus, go ahead and eat gluten. Go ahead and eat buckwheat. All right. Then no sugar of any kind. And then no carbonated drinks, no alkaline water, no carbonated water. Okay. And so all that stuff's got to go. And then at 104 pounds, I wanted to have one healthy brain and heart pack per month. One healthy brain and heart pack per month. Half a dose of everything twice a day. I wanted to get 1 bottle a month of our MSM, so I can take 3 at breakfast, 3 at dinner time. I want her to get 2 canisters of the collagen peptide, so she could take a scoop of that with her morning drink, a scoop with her evening drink. And then I want her to have vitamin D3, 3 of those twice a day. That's 2 bottles a month. I want her also to get, let's see here, because of the dementia, I want her to be sure she's eating 3 eggs twice a day with soft yolks. That's breakfast and dinner. Soft scrambled butter, soft boiled, soft poached, not hard boiled, not fried. And then for lunch, I want her to have a couple of the, say 2 or 3 of the chewable I-26. They don't taste sweet or anything like that. They're pleasant, but they're not bad. They're pleasant. They're not bad. They don't really have, like they're not a chocolate candy bar. Okay, they're just pleasant. Okay, and even little kids will eat them because they're pleasant. All right, and then I want her to have the Synaptive 2 bottles a month, so her brain cells will talk to each other. So she needs to take 3 of those twice a day, or 2, 3 times a day, for a total of 6 a day. And then let's see here. Did I leave anything out here, Rebecca?
Nope, I think you got it, Dr. Wallach.
Okay,
There is initial. She doesn't like the powders. She had been taking them and she was doing extremely well. And she had some of the RDQ she also took, but she just stopped.
Okay,
And-
well, I didn't say. Okay, it's one of those things where, okay, then enjoy your disease.
I didn't know if there was the liquid which would help her more. And she seems
I use the liquid concentrates. So Dr. Wallach, I use the liquid concentrates.
Okay, so you're taking the stuff, you're just taking the liquid concentrate instead of the powder.
So how much would she drink if she was doing the liquid?
So it'd be 1 ounce.
She'd
At
do
her weight.
1 ounce.
1 ounce. So I use the Ultimate Tangy Tangerine, which is a liquid concentrate.
Mhm.
For her, I would consider the Ultra Body Toddy though. It has a little more of it has the Cell Shield formula in it, which I think will be very beneficial for her. And then also use the liquid Osteo FX. and that'll take care of the powders. And we are coming up, Dr. Wallach, to the end of our program.
Oh my gosh.
So Stephanie, thank you so much for coming on with us. I'm glad that you were able to make it on and ask your question. And if I could get my co-hosts on with me, that would be super fantastic, because I want to thank them, Dr. Wallach. Without them, we couldn't do this. There are so many moving parts that, wait a minute, that one's not supposed to be highlighted. That I want to just give credit where credit is due. And I know there were some questions that were in the chat that did not get answered. You can use Becca at dailywithdoc.com as an email and get your questions into me, and we will try to get your questions answered as quickly as possible. I know that there was a question in regards to getting products into other countries where the dollar is not worth as much. So we do have options for that as well. So I see he has his hand up. Thank you so much for raising your hand. We are at the end of our program. Dr. Wallach, thank you again for another amazing program. We're going to call this our Opportunity Brain episode because we were talking about mental health quite a bit, and it is so important. It is like almost, if not, is at epidemic levels when it comes to mental health. And there's not a mental health month. It's a mental health awareness life, folks. You need to take care of your mental health, and doing that supplementation makes a huge, huge difference, because when your brain is starving, nothing else is going to work right either. So Dr. Wallach, thank you so much.
Well, thank you, Becca. Thank you, team. And we do have 5,000 products. Okay. It's one of those things where you're bound to find a couple of them you like.
Well, yeah, 5,000 products, but Dr. Wallach, many of those products are things like my earrings, my neck, not this necklace, but other necklaces, my makeup. I mean, there's a lot of numbers. Phyllis has some of our jewelry on. Ruth Ellen has some of our jewelry on. So 5,000 products is kind of misleading and overwhelming when you think of supplementation. Folks, it's not 5,000 supplements. Okay, I just wanted to make that clear, Dr. Wallach. But thank you. I know you have to get moving on to your next program. You are awesome, Dr. Wallach, and we appreciate you each and every moment we have time to spend with you. Thanks
Thank
again.
you so much. Thank you, Becca. Thank you, team. God bless each and every one of you. Tomorrow's another day. Bye-bye.
Yes, it is. Bye for now. All right. And for my co-hosts with me today, we have Marilyn, we have Ruth Ellen Sanchez, who is my executive production manager, and she earns every bit of that title. And we have the amazing Phyllis. Sorry, Phyllis. Phyllis Anderson, who is one of my initial mentors, who I love and appreciate very much, her and her husband. And we bring this resource to the community. So if you do have somebody that you're working with, make sure that you get back with them and ask them questions. Ask, how do I get the products that Dr. Wallach was speaking of? And if you have questions yourself, please go to dailywithdoc.com, do a search, and you might find a show where we have already covered what you yourself or somebody you love is going through, and the solutions are there already. But we will see you again tomorrow, because we are Monday through Friday from 12 to 1 Pacific time, 1 to 2 Mountain time, 2 to 3 Central time, and 3 to 4 Eastern time. Have a great day, and bye for now. And I didn't do my job, and she's just smiling at me. I have to say bye for now again.